In today's video, as you can see from the screen behind me and what I've got in my hand, we're going to take a closer look at this Casio LF-30W digital watch. I'll do my customary look around the watch. I'll talk about the design of the watch, the function, the features that this watch has got built in, pop it on my wrist and then say what it's like to wear, and then give you some of my general thoughts after all of that. Now, what I will say, this is a brand new watch that I got from Argos. It is available on Amazon, which I've linked to in the description box below, and you can get this watch in a few other different colors if this watch isn't for you. And also you can get it on the Casio website as well, and they all tend to be around the 25 to 30 pound mark, but on Argos here in the UK I got it for about 27 pounds, so it is around that price point. So with all that out the way, why don't we take a closer look at the Casio LF-30W digital watch. So first of all, let's see if this watch is for you and your wrist by talking about some of the sizes that this Casio watch is at. Now I'm going to move the watch off to the left, and then I'm going to highlight the sizes to the right, and you can pause the video at any time if you want to read the sizes at your leisure. So the case size from the left to the right, and I've included the pushers in this measurement, you are looking at approximately 35 millimeters. Look to look, or the top of the watch to the bottom of the watch's case, you are looking at about 38 millimeters. Depth wise, I'm just going to turn it around, you are looking at a very svelte 9 millimeters thick. Inner lug width, let's just pop it round on the back, you are looking at around 16 millimeters is what I've measured it from there to there. And as we're talking about the strap, then I might as well quickly touch on the size of the strap itself. So let's move it to the front on that you can see here. So where it flares out, you are looking at about 23 millimeters, and where it just tapers down to its resin with the Casio branded pin and buckle, just around here, you are looking at about 18 millimeters. Now the length of this top strap, while we're here, you are looking at about 66 millimeters long, and just to the bottom of the strap that you can see here, you are looking at 122 millimeters, and it's got 12 holes of adjustment just here. Now materials wise, let's just move on to the materials of this watch. Strap, you are looking at what is known as a bio resin, is what Casio call it now. So they have changed their material makeup of this watch, so it is more environmentally friendly plastic or resin as such. In terms of the actual feeling of the materials on this strap, it is very nice. The satin effect's very nice to the touch, and also you got these very small ridges just to the bottom of the watch and to the top where the case is. And also on the back, just looking at the detailing there, very simple. It's just got a very nice frame into the reverse of this strap, and also the strap stay mirrors the strap very well, and it is very nice. And in terms of the thickness, it's not too thick, but again it's not too thin, and it doesn't feel toy-like to me, so I do say that it is a nice feeling strap. Now the actual case itself, it is made up again of a sort of a satin effect resin plastic as well. And what I will say with resin plastic for the case is there is a chance it will pick up the odd scratch, the odd mark from daily wear, so just be aware of that fact. And also just on the front of the watch itself, you do have a acrylic resin crystal, and again like the case as well, you will find that through daily use you may pick up the odd scratch or the odd micro abrasion. You got some very nice metal pushers here, and they do have a very nice springy nature to them just here, as you can see as I'm going through the modes. And just quickly on the back, I'll just quickly show you. On the back you have the usual affair when it comes to a stainless steel brushed effect case back affixed to the watch with 4 Phillips style or crosshead style screws. So in all, it's a very nice feeling watch, and also a very elegant look in terms of the actual materials used and the effects on the materials as well. And it's also lightweight as well, with it being all resin. Now design wise, I've got to say I really do like the overall look of this Casio watch. It's got that nice square simple design to it. There's not a lot going on in terms of the extrusions on the case, and also any sort of decals as well to the front of the case's design. It's all very minimal in terms of the way it looks and the way it feels. And the same goes with the strap. As I mentioned, you've got these 2 ridges and also the detailing on the back, which is just a frame to the overall strap, and it just keeps the watch just very simple in the way it looks. The part where all the sort of magic happens is on that display. Now the display has some very interesting indicators to the top left hand corner, where you've got the mute, the alarm and the hourly signal, which are very handy in terms of just being able to see if you've got one of the 5 alarms that this has got built in activated, if you've got the button mute operation activated as well, or if you've got the hourly signal switched on or switched off. It just gives you a very nice at a glance indication. You've got a very nice world map, so you can see which part of the world that you are in with this watch. And with this watch having the usual local time, and also if you press the right hand button down to the bottom right, you can see 3 other what's known as time screens. So those are user setup screens in which you can see different times at a quick glance. So you got LAX, which is Los Angeles, New York City, and I've got it set up for Bangkok as T4. And as you can see with the graphic display, you can see which part of the world you are viewing the time in. In terms of the actual display itself, I do like the size of the day, the week. You've got the month and you've got the year, and you've got the time, and it's quite easy to read in terms of the typeface size, the typeface used, and there's not a lot of detailing going on around that area. It is quite simple, and obviously this watch has got daylight saving time built in, which you can see is activated here. Now, the only one caveat I will say to the display of this watch, there is an element of like a dimming effect when this watch is looked at head on, and you don't get that so much if you turn the watch to its like an angle, but it goes a lot more bolder when you do see it at an angle than you do if you were to view it head on. Now, for a lot of people, that may be a massive deal breaker, and it does feel like that the battery's starting to go or lose its power. So it isn't the battery losing its power, it is just the way that Casio have set these watches up. And I do think it is a slight shame with this watch, because if it was as bold viewing it at an angle as it is viewing it head on, I think this would be a fantastic watch to have. But again, as I say, it's not a massive deal breaker for me, but it's well worth mentioning. Now, in terms of ghosting, I'll just quickly show you the ghosting. You can see as I turn the watch to the front, you can see it's not too bad, but it is evident in more natural daylight. Now, the other thing to mention with this watch, or the other feature built into this watch, is that backlight. Now, I'm just showing you a clip of how the backlight looks, and all you need to do is press the top right hand button to activate the light, and you can see it's a very nice bright orange LED that's situated to the bottom left hand corner of this watch, and I've got to say, it really does make that display stand out. Plus, you have what's known as Casio's afterglow feature, where you can choose between 1.5 seconds in terms of the afterglow feature, or 3 seconds in which the actual backlight will illuminate for. So it's a really nice display on this watch. Now, as well as the backlight, this watch has also got built into it 12 and 24 hour formats, which you need to go through the adjustment phase to do. It's got a mute button option where you can just turn on the mute button by long pressing the mode button, where it will stop any beeps when you do operate the watch. The alarms and the countdown timer built into this watch will still sound when you've got them set up. It's got up to 3 years in terms of the battery life from brand new. It's got a full auto calendar built into it that is set up to 2099, and it's got a accuracy of plus and minus 30 seconds per month. And if you look down to the bottom of the case, you will see that it's water resistant. Now, there's no specific meters that this watch is water resistant up to, so what I would probably advise is, if you are thinking of maybe washing the dishes, washing the car, doing gardening, I'd probably take this watch off, to be fair. Now, as well as the features built into this watch has also got quite a few comprehensive modes. You can view the time in up to what would be 48 different cities, and also 31 time zones, which you can just quickly cycle along. It's got 5 daily alarms that you can quickly cycle through, and it's also got what's known as an hourly signal that allow the watch to beep on the hour every hour if you've got it activated. If you set this watch, you've got the option between choosing a alarm that can go off just once, or an alarm that can go off on a daily basis. Also built into it, you've got the countdown timer, and this will allow you to count down from a range of up to 24 hours. With a countdown range, you can set a countdown timer for 1 second, or you can go all the way up to 24 hours. And it also has a very handy little feature where the measuring unit is a 1/10 of a second. As well as the countdown timer, it also has a very handy stopwatch as well, which will allow you to count up to 24 hours, and it does that within 1/100 of a second. It's got a split time which you can easily activate, and also it'll allow you to measure first and second place finish times. With all that out the way, and all the functions and the features and the design and the materials spoken about, I'm going to show you what it's like on my wrist and talk about what it's like in terms of comfort and wearability. And here it is on my 6.5 inch wrist, and I've got to say, this is one very comfortable watch to wear. I mean, the dimensions allow it to be a watch that can fit a lot of smaller wrists like my 6.5 inch wrist, and it is just so easy to wear. There's no problem at all. There's zero hand inhibition in terms of how this watch wears on a daily basis. You can't feel it on the wrist. And what I will say, because it is such a lightweight watch, it's one of them watches that when you do wear it, it will melt away in terms of how this watch feels on the wrist. It is a really nice watch to wear. And in terms of the looks, I think it looks great on the wrist. Now, as I've mentioned, obviously the front on look in terms of, you know, that display just slightly dimming. Again, that's like it's up to you really, but most of the time people do tend to view the watch quickly at an angle, and that's where it's at its boldest. But head on, you do have to remember that it does dim a little. But overall, I think on the wrist, this watch wears so well. It's so comfortable. The materials make it a really nice watch to wear, and also you've got them 12 holes of adjustment, so it should fit a lot of larger wrists as well as a lot of smaller wrists. So it gets a thumbs up from me in terms of the overall wearability on the wrist. So what are my final thoughts with this Casio LF-30W that you can see on the screen and what I've got in my hand? Overall, I would say it's comfortable on the wrist, it's good looking as well, and it's also a size of watch that would accommodate a lot of people. But you just need to see if that display dimming when you look at it head on is a deal breaker for you. And if it is, then there's another watch that you can try, which is the AE1200, which doesn't have that issue. Or if you really want a big watch, go for an AE3000, which is another world time watch. For the £25, I think you get, or £27 that I got this watch for, you get a lot of watch for your money, a lot of functionality, and you get a watch which does have up to 3 years in terms of battery life. So it gets a okay-ish from me, as long as you're happy with the screen. So I hope this video was of some use to you, and if it was, then please click on the like button. It always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos from watches like this, or any tutorials or anything like that from the channel coming soon, then please click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.